Hello and welcome to That Was Golf, your weekly golfing review podcast. My name is Calum MacVicar. Thank you very much for joining us as we take a look at the results from another great week on the golfing calendar. This week there were two events held on the DP World Tour. Firstly was the co-sanctioned event with the PGA Tour of Australasia, the Crown Australian Open, held at Royal Melbourne in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Winning here was Rasmus Nergaard Petersen. Australia was treated to a spectacular tournament this weekend, seeing its largest crowd ever for a golfing event, and a nervy rollercoaster of a final round was a fitting finale. Starting the final round 2 shots clear, Rasmus Nergaard Petersen saw his lead shrink almost immediately, as his playing partners Cam Smith and Siwoo Kim both made birdies, whilst Nergaard Petersen made bogey in the opening 4 holes. Further bogeys on 9 and 10 for Rasmus meant that Aussie favourite Cam Smith entered the final 8 holes in the lead, cheered on by the massive Sunday crowds. Nergaard Petersen and Smith entered the 18th tee tied on 15 under, with Kim just 1 shot back on 14 under. Approach shots into the 18th green were varied in difficulty, with Kim in a bunker, Nergaard Petersen in the rough with a bunker to clear, and Smith sitting on the back of the green. Kim went on to bogey this hole after leaving his first bunker shot short and having to re-hit in the bunker, whilst Nergaard Petersen chipped onto the green but still had a sizable and tricky putt to save par. All eyes were on Smith as he knocked his first putt closer, leaving a shortish distance for par. Unfortunately for Cam and the enormous crowds cheering him around the 18th, the fairy tale ending wasn't to be, as Nergaard Petersen spectacularly saved his par and Smith 3-putted for bogey, leaving Smith finish on 14 under and just 1 shot away from a playoff. For Rasmus, who finished on 15 under for the tournament, it was his first win on the DP World Tour, and with this win he also punches his ticket to the Open and the Masters next year. Final top 10 in Melbourne was first place on 15 under and winning the tournament, Rasmus Nergaard Petersen. Solo second on 14 under was Cam Smith. Solo third on 13 under was Siwoo Kim. Solo fourth on 12 under was Michael Hollick. Solo fifth on 11 under was Adam Scott. Tied 6th on 10 under was Jose Luis Ballester and Daniel Hillier. And tied 8th on 9 under was Matt McCarthy, Carlos Ortiz, Elvis Smiley and Caleb Surratt. Also on the DP World Tour this week was a co-sanctioned event with the Sunshine Tour, the Nedbank Golf Challenge in honour of Gary Player, held at Gary Player Country Club in Sun City, South Africa. Winning here was Christopher Raitan. Similarly to the Australian Open, fans at the Nedbank Challenge were treated to a nail-biting final day of golf. Leading the tournament since day one and starting the final day with a 5-shot lead over the pack, Christopher Raitan looked sure to continue his form. However, his inconsistent front 9 saw his lead shrink and playing partners Jaden Shaper and Dan Bradbury close in on him. By the 14th hole, Bradbury and Shaper had shot flawless rounds of 6 and 4 under respectively, whilst Raitan had only shot 1 under and now saw his lead shrink to just 2 shots. A bogey at the 15th left Raitan just 1 shot ahead, with 3 to play. Battling a ton of nerves, Raitan managed to keep his cool, parring the final 3 holes, as did Bradbury and Shaper, to see Raitan finish just 1 shot clear and lift the trophy, giving him his second title on the DP World Tour. Final top 10 in Sun City. First place on 17 under was Christopher Raitan. Tied second on 16 under was Dan Bradbury and Jaden Shaper. Solo fourth on 13 under was Christian Bezuidenhout. Solo fifth on 11 under was Sean Norris. Tied 6th on 10 under was Thomas Dietrich and Julian Guerrero. Tied 8th on 9 under was Angel Ayora and Andy Sullivan. And tied 10th on 8 under was Ewan Ferguson, Haitong Lee, Just Luton, Francisco Molinari and Daniel Von Tonder. Next to the Professional Golf Tour of India, where it was the Jaipur Open, held at Ramba Golf Club in Jaipur, India. Winning here was Veer Alawat. As Order of Merit leader Yuvraj Sandhu sat top of the leaderboard in round 3, he must have thought the victory was well within his sights, claiming another title in his excellent season. But sitting 5 shots back beginning the final round, Veer Alawat had other ideas, producing a flawless 62 8 under par for the second time over his 4 rounds of play. As Sandhu struggled for form, making 3 birdies and 3 bogeys in his closing 9 holes, Alawat was flying, making an incredible 6 birdies in his back 9 to end the weekend on a score of 19 under par, 1 shot clear of Sandhu. This is Alouat's 5th win on the Professional Golf Tour of India and moves him to 18th place on the season order of merit. Next to the Japan Golf Tour, where it was the Golf Nippon Series JT Cup held at Tokyo Yomiuri Country Club in Tokyo, Japan. Winning here was Takashi Ogiso. Closing out the final event on the Japan Golf Tour season, Takashi Ogiso produced a 65-5 under par final round to leapfrog round 3 leader Taika Yoshida, whose final round 68 2 under par dropped him to 3rd place, with Ogiso finishing on 13 under and Yoshida on 10 under par. This is Ogiso's 2nd win on the Japan Golf Tour and saw him finish 4th place on the money ranking for the season. We'll have a bonus episode for you later this week all about the Japan Golf Tour 2025 season. Next to the EU Legends Tour, where it was the MCB Mauritius Legends held at Constance Belle Mar Plage in Post de Flac in Mauritius. Winning here was Greg Owen. Rounding out the season on the EU Legends Tour, Greg Owen made rounds of 65, 68 and 65 to finish on 18 under par and secure a victory by 1 shot over Jeev Milkha Singh and Darren Feikart. His final round of 65, 7 under par featured 10 birdies, 6 on the front 9 and his only bogeys being a double on 15 and a bogey on 17. After bogeying the 17th, his bounce-back birdie on 18 was ultimately what won him the tournament. Over to the Mina Golf Tour, where it was the Rolar Algarve Classic held at Amendoeira Golf Course in the Algarve, Portugal. Taking victory here was Chris Wood, producing an almost flawless tournament which saw his only bogey happen on the 17th hole in the final round of play. Chris Wood claimed his first Mina Golf Tour victory with a score of 16 under par. He finished 1 shot clear of Aidan O'Hagan in 2nd place and 3 shots clear of Max Schmidt in 3rd place. Schmidt produced the round of the weekend, a bogey-free 63 9 under par, which also saw him break the course record at the Amendoeira Golf Course. We next head over to the World Champions Cup, which was held at Feather Sound Country Club in Clearwater, Florida, USA. Winning here was Team Europe. One of the newest events on the golfing calendar, the World Champions Cup, comprises of 3 teams of 8 senior men's players. Team USA, Team Europe and Team International compete similarly to Ryder Cups and President's Cups, with team and single match play formats. Running out victors this year were Team Europe, who held the lead from Thursday all the way through until an incredibly rainy Sunday in Florida. Team Europe consisted of Darren Clark, Jesper Parnevik, Soren Kjeldsen, Colin Montgomery, Bernard Langer, Miguel Angel Jimenez, Thomas Bjorn and Alex Jekka. Team Europe's final score of 230 points surpasses Team USA's final score of 221 points as the highest total in the tournament's short history. And lastly this week we head to the PGA Tour, where it was the Hero World Challenge held at Albany Golf Course in Albany, the Bahamas. Winning here was Hideki Matsuyama. Alex Noren and Hideki Matsuyama started the final round trailing round 3 leader Sepp Straka by 3 shots and 2 shots behind world number 1 Scottie Scheffler. But a couple of rounds of 64 8 under par, the joint lowest round for the weekend, saw Noren and Matsuyama end the weekend joint first on the leaderboard. This left Straka in 3rd and Scheffler tied 4th, and the Swede and the Japanese player heading into a playoff for the first time in 10 years at the Hero World Challenge. Matsuyama beat Noren at the first playoff hole, sinking a 3-foot putt for birdie whilst Noren made par. This win is the 2nd time that Hideki Matsuyama has won the Hero World Challenge. And for another week, that was golf. Thank you so much for listening into this episode. Wherever you get your podcasts from, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all future episodes released every Tuesday, 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.